Alright, what's up? I'm SYROBE, and I'm back today with more Elden Ring DLC content. Be warned, there are going to be very, very tiny spoilers, because some of the spells, incantations, sorceries, whatever you want to call them, they have names, or they're named related to important characters in the DLC, but nothing more besides that. This is all going to be showcased on Stormveil Castle in the Troll Giant area, so I'm going to be casting every single sorcery and every single incantation in this video that the DLC just added. So I don't know if this is the full list, but this is pretty much everything I could find. We're going to go through the entire list just now, just kind of scroll through it. And I've already tested these out just a little bit to kind of get informed before I do a showcase. I also had to re-record because my audio was just completely screwed up. But unfortunately, it is what it is. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for a lot more Elden Ring DLC related content, and especially DLC builds that'll be coming very, very soon. These are all of the newest incantations. There are a ton of incantations compared to sorceries. Actually, I think the sorceries this time around are far less interesting, and there's only a couple of them down here, as you can see. These are the newest ones that I got, and that's it. These are this like last single row is sorceries, and then all of the above is incantations. So we're going to start with sorceries, just because there's not a whole lot of them, and they're not super interesting. Some of them are pretty cool, some of them are pretty nifty, so I'm not going to be too much of a hater. But yeah, so we pretty much have all of them equipped except for two. And real quick, showing you guys what I'm using to cast with. These are the new staves. This one actually, you know what? This one can go. This one can just leave my inventory for all I care. Hold on. This is just a weapon. This has nothing to do with anything. Anyways, so these are the staffs that I'm using, like sorcery staffs to cast spells with, and finger seals to cast spells with, or sacred seals. So there's three. This is actually a weapon. So this is a thrusting sword, like a rapier, but it's also something you can cast sorceries with. This one, you can cast sorceries with as well, like that. And it boosts specific types of sorceries. Again, spoilers, just names and titles of these things are going to be spoilery. If you kind of look at it and look into it, you're going to see names that are familiar that you may want to avoid. But again, very, very light spoilers. It's still in Stormveil. I'm not even in the DLC area. All in Stormveil still. Everyone's seen Stormveil. Staff of the Great Beyond. Now, this one's interesting. It's like the Prince of Death staff, except this one is it allows you to cast both sorceries and incantations, as well as these ones being able to cast purely incantations down here. These are all just finger seals or sacred seals for incantations only. These are both the this is a hybrid weapon plus staff. This is a staff plus seal. Well grounded. Again, these are all not upgraded, so don't judge any of the damage that I do, or the lack of damage I should say, based on these 0+ upgraded weapons. Like, none of these are upgraded. I'm just showing you the base damage and what things do. So yeah, we're gonna use the Staff of the Great Beyond for everything, for both incantations and spells, because it works for both, so why not? Massive Putrescence, I tried this earlier. This one kind of reminds me of Magma Shot, but instead of fire, it deals Frostbite and Ghost Flame. So after a couple, it blows up. Ghost Flame, Frostbite. Pretty simple. This one apparently also builds up Frostbite. I think this is actually considered a death sorcery. So if you're wondering if there are any more death sorceries in the game, I think this might classify as one. Not too sure on the specifics on that, but again, also builds up Frostbite. Going back to the Impenetrable Thorns, this might be my favorite sorcery. This genuinely might be my favorite sorcery in this game. At least out of the new ones that they added. It's basically a Briar spell, but it instantly procs bleed. That is insane. The amount of bleed buildup that just procs, like, I think it's multiple hitboxes, so I think that's why it's like, that's all bleed procs on him. And that's crazy. It does good physical damage too. Like, good physical damage, pretty decent cast time, like not super slow, and pretty effective. I think this one might be my favorite sorcery out of every single sorcery. This one's just a bit of a meme. Clearly, the people at, From Software, they've seen our challenge runs, even my own. I used to do my own challenge runs. I'm going to do a lot more soon. But this is definitely something that they just made to be a challenge run. Like, you could tell they're like, all right, use this spell and beat the game with it. Nothing but this right here. This is literally just, you roll into them and it hits them, just like the armor. Remember the armor set, the Briar armor set that does this? So I'm pretty sure it would stack on top of that. So you could wear the Briar armor set and roll into people and just deal damage. And I'm sure they're aware of that. It's pretty funny, not super effective. Gravitational one though, this one is pretty cool. This one kind of sucks things in. Unfortunately for the larger enemies, like larger enemy types, they're pretty much unaffected by it. Only going to be good on like crowd control, like smaller enemies, and PvP especially. Very good in PvP. Again, don't judge the damage. This is not upgraded at all. This is all just merely for testing. So this one I found out has 1, 2, 3 hitboxes if you hold it all the way down, but only one single hitbox if you lightly tap it. Then you have the basic spells, the Glintstone Nails. I don't know how effective these are. These don't build up Frostbite. They're just kind of silly little Glintstone spells. And now we have a Glintblade Trio. These ones take quite a while to go off, actually, but they're pretty decent. Again, I think this is definitely by far, this is my favorite sorcery. This is definitely the best one. Oh, I just realized, wait, tapping it? Oh, I just realized tapping it just makes it go a little bit like range, like long range. Actually, not a little bit, long range. Tapping it is long range. Holding it is actually just short range, all right in front of you. So if you can get off a big charge cast... Wait, that's not how that works. Wait, hold on. Does that work differently if an enemy... I think it works differently when it hits an enemy. It looks like it stops when it hits an enemy. I might be seeing that wrong. Let me double check. I want to verify this. So this has a lot of range. I thought it was... Oh, okay. So when it reaches the end or it hits an enemy, it seems like it kind of explodes upwards. Yeah, okay. And then if I just do it point blank, it's instant. That's crazy, though, for the damage. That is insane. Okay, so it's a very long cast range, and it stops whenever it hits an enemy. Probably my favorite spell. It's going to be very useful. I like it a lot. There's only, unfortunately, that's like most of the sorceries, though. There's only like a couple more left. There's the, let's see what we got here. There's R'Lana's Twin Moons, and then the teleport. That was the only one that we didn't take there. Again, this one, it's not that good. It requires, this spell requires 72 int for this spell, for the Twin Moons. These are just random stats that I have to test everything. This requires 72 intelligence, 72. And look what it does. Obviously, don't look at the damage, but look how long the cast time is. And you don't get iframes, you don't get hyper armor, you don't get increased poise, whatever. You can be interrupted very easily while doing this. At any point. Obviously, he missed, but at any point, like from here, you can get interrupted easily right now, interrupted here, and interrupted before the last one. At any point, you can just be stopped. So I don't think that's going to be too good. I don't think it's worth this 72 intelligence. Maybe just damage-wise it is, but you can get canceled very, very easily. And I hope they add some sort of like hyper armor to that spell to make it so that at least you can get canceled here, but maybe once you get the first one off, you should be like a little bit harder to cancel. It seems like no matter what happens, you're just very easy to cancel, and for a 72 intelligence cost, that kind of sucks. This one's really cool. You have a blink. We finally have our first blink. I'm pretty sure one of the sorcerers in the upside down hourglass area, I forget what it's called. It's part of Ronnie's questline. I think that's her vanishing. Is that the Miriam's? I forget if that's the NPC's name. But there's an NPC in that area, in the upside down hourglass area, where you use the little hourglass to go upside down. It's in this this place. I don't even know why I'm saying it like that. This place, the Liurnia Tower Bridge, yeah. The study hall. When that place goes upside down, you meet an NPC there that can cast a bunch of sorceries and can actually blink. So this is actually just the spell of blinking. And it is directional, but it's not really directional in the way that you might think. Because if you stand still and then hit a key after, it doesn't actually move you. So it's not entire, like the directional input of it is weird. You have to be holding it down when you cast it to actually move. You do get a little bit of iframes during this. I did test it. Not when you cast it, but when you actually get the cast off. It counts as basically a roll from what I can tell. It has a further distance than a roll, so if we use the input, if we use this as a line, right there, takes you to past the water puddle, but with rolling, you're just a little bit shy. So it's a little bit longer than a simple roll. A little bit further distance than a roll, and it does give you some iframes, but again, not in the beginning. Let's see if I can get it here. It only gives you the iframes if you actually get the teleport off. Like, if you can actually get the teleport off, that's when it gives you the iframes. See, I got hit there right before, so it still hurt me. I didn't get any iframes, but let's see if I can time it. Yeah, right there. I teleported right into it. Let's see if I can just... I'm just going to stand still. Let me see if I can line it up. going to be a bit tricky. Okay, no. It's probably very brief. I thought I got some iframes. I could be wrong. Yeah, there's a little bit of iframes there. Yeah. It does give you like a little bit of a disappearing hitbox as well. So if you can time it, it's going to be very rewarding. It's going to be a little bit weird to use though. Yeah, that's kind of nice. I teleported right into his foot. There are a little bit of iframes on it. That's pretty cool. This one is a very interesting spell. I don't know if it says specifically what it does. Let me read it. It blocks projectiles. It blocks projectiles. This is basically, I'm pretty sure there was like another sorcery that did that. Like this one. Yeah, it's like Eternal Darkness. It's like Eternal Darkness, but Eternal Darkness only works on incantations and sorceries. This one, allegedly, from what it says, it works on sorceries, incantations, magic, physical, everything. Everything that the game considers a projectile. Now, the problem with that is, what does the game consider a projectile? I don't know. You guys are going to have to experiment with this, figure out what it blocks. It does deal damage, so it's a bit more offensive as well. It does do some damage, but it's not insane to the point where it's like, oh my god, like this is broken. Like, it's very close range, first off. Does decent damage. But apparently you use the fingers to block projectiles. So I don't know if it has to hit, if the projectile has to be blocked physically by the finger, or it just kind of dispels it. No clue how that works, but it should block projectiles. It's going to be very, very weird to see exactly what the game considers a projectile. Because I tried it on the lobsters that shoot the water at you, and it didn't block it. I tried. It did not block it. This one is also a really good spell. I like this spell. Short tap. Nice little explosion. Multiple explosions, actually, at least 2. And I think if I charge it for longer, there's more explosions. So we had 2, 1, 2. Actually, no, it's two explosions either way. I thought there was a third one, fortunately, but it's a very pretty spell. I like the colors of it. Yeah. And one thing to note about the spells, if I didn't already say anything about the specific sorceries, is that, again, there are some sorceries that build up frostbite. So this one builds up frostbite. This one builds up frostbite. This one builds up bleed. Those are the only ones that, from what I can tell, have any sort of status effect to them, as well as this one looks really cool, but doesn't build up any frostbite, I don't think. And this one blocks projectiles. So these are all the sorceries that we use. These are all the offensive ones. And these are the supportive ones that lets you teleport and lets you do damage by rolling. Now onto the incantations, or back to it, I should say. Alright, we're going to be showing every single incantation. Again, we are using the exact same glintstone staff because this does let you cast both sorceries and incantations in one. This is the Mesmer spell, starting off with this one. Quick tap, very, very fast explosion, but a longer tap, longer charge, and it does more damage. I think it might be a proximity thing too, so I think it's very, very close range. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like how close you have to be for it to really feel like it does something. But yeah, if you charge it, it should be more damage. And this one is a really, really bad spell. I don't like this spell at all. This spell, or this incantation, excuse me. I don't like that one. I don't like this one at all. Rain of Fire. It reminds me of the Glintstone Rain, like the primordial Glintstone Rain, whatever it's called. I don't like it because look how long it takes for it to actually go off. See how long that takes? Look at how long this takes for it to go off. Like, look, where is my damage? There it is, finally. Look how long in between me pressing this button to damage being dealt to the enemy. Like, alright, I guess I missed because I wasn't locked on. Press the button, like 3 seconds pass, and then he takes damage. It's so easily avoidable. Maybe only for bosses, who knows. Fire Serpent's a pretty cool spell. Just like kind of a flame ward. Pretty fast. Pretty fast. Pretty good tracking. Pretty sure it's like heat seeking. So it's not as bad as like, you know, a skill shot like the flame orb is, or like the giant flame. That one kind of has really bad tracking. This one looks like it tracks pretty well. The Divine Bird Feathers, Machine Gun, Rapid Fire Machine Gun. Don't know how useful this is, but you cannot channel it forever. Because eventually you are going to run out of mana. But I guess you can just charge it as long as you have mana for it. Or stamina, whichever one runs out first, because it looks like my stamina ran out before my mana did there. Not too useful. I mean, maybe just me thinking about it. This one is fun. I do like this one. I like the exaggerated motion that you make when you use it, when you stick your leg all the way up in the fucking air like that. Kind of goofy. I like how it does multiple hitboxes at the very end. It has a sort of a standing hitbox that moves with it. So the initial hit, then if they stand in it again, when you charge it up, like this, lasts for longer. I start switching out some incantations. Spyra, this one, I don't remember which this one is. Which one is this? Oh, this one is really weird too. It's another one that you can just kind of charge and call down stuff from the sky. And you can do this for a long time. It's a very low mana cost, and you kind of just keep holding it down, and it keeps hitting the enemy that you're targeting. It does seem to follow them, based on your tracking. Quick one doesn't seem to be super worth it. The Golden Arc, very, very weird. I think that's a very weird incantation. You can cast it pretty fast, though, from what I've seen. Very, very fast cast speed. So that's the only thing I really like about it, is how fast it really is. Watchful Spirit. This one's a little bit weird. It reminds me of, like, that one item that you get from the Omens, I think, that shoots out, like, the little... Yeah, like that. Not super good. Spawns a little bit of them. I don't know... Oh, okay. Well, that just kept tracking him. I guess it tracks whoever you initially target, and all of them will go to them, even after it dies. It's kind of like an Incantations Glint Blade. You know, like the Glint Blade Phalanx? It's kind of like that, but for incantations. Reminds me of one of the old Dark Souls dark spells. One of the Abyss... I think it's like Dredge or something like that. I don't remember. Let's swap out our incantations. Now we have some Frenzy spells, some more Pest Threads, a Scarlet Rot spell, some Ghost Flame spells. These ones are really, really good. I love these ones. I love the Bale spells. The Bale spells are really, really cool. A lot of spells, a lot of incantations to go through. This one probably isn't going to be too good. It builds up Frenzy in you very, very fast. And I'm assuming probably faster than whatever your target is. Does decent damage, but yeah, you're going to build up Frenzy in yourself pretty fast with it. So I don't know how worth that one is. Again, it only works in PvP too. So that's a tap. You can move while using it. Pest Thread, literally just a better Pest Thread than the regular Pest Thread. It does a little bit of damage if you tap it. It does more damage if you charge it. Pretty good tracking as well. Pretty slow though. Now we got the Rotten Butterflies. This is actually our new Scarlet Rot spell. This does build up Scarlet Rot in your enemies, and it builds it up pretty well, pretty fast. I think once they start exploding is when the Scarlet Rot comes in, but look, he's already rotted. Already rotted. One cast already rotted him. I mean, I know he's weak to rot too, but we got another Dragon Spell here for some Frostbite. Oh, he's gonna slap me out of it. You can jump while casting it. Can I not jump? Wait, what? I swear I just jumped doing it. Hold on. Oh, I guess not. I guess you can jump. I don't know. I tried that. This is just Frostbite. There you go. Frostbite and more magic damage. Now, the Bale spells are really, really cool. I think these are probably some of my favorite incantations. They look so badass. This one comes with fire and lightning. It's pretty much like Dragon Claw. It's the exact same as Dragon Claw, but it does fire damage and lightning damage. It has a little bit of a standing hitbox, it looks like, at the bottom with the fire. Unfortunately, the actual usage of it is not the best. Looks like I got a little bit of poise there through it. Couldn't poise through that. Just pretty much Dragon Claw, but with fire and lightning. Again, not super useful, but this is where it's at. Bale's Tyranny is where it's at. This one. This is the good spell. I like that one a lot. It's already doing 1,000 damage, and I don't even have it upgraded. I really, really like this one. There's like pools of magma everywhere. There's a bunch of hitboxes. Big explosion at the end. Very, very good. Now, this last spell, or this last incantation, I think this one is just a meme. I'm just gonna set the trend right now. I'm probably gonna do a challenge run with this. This is my just idea out of the top of my head. This is so goofy. All it is you put this on you and you become a static electricity field. That's literally it. No other benefits, it looks like. Just static electricity. Just, that's it. You deal like, what? 6 damage. Cool, I'm doing like 6 damage. Obviously, not upgraded again, so don't judge the damage completely. It's a little bit silly. Charging it seems to do a little bit more damage, maybe? Yeah, so charging it, if you fully charge cast it, it does do a little bit more damage. Pretty just like a meme spell. Quite a few of these seem like meme spells. I think there's going to be another meme spell next. Are the other ones? Still going. The duration lasts really long, though, I noticed. Alright, this one is a little bit weird as well. This is Dragon Bolt of Florisax. You put it on you kind of like Bike's Dragon Bolt Blessing, and you see that AoE? What that does is that's a buff. I found out that's a buff for you, your summons, and your allies. Literally anybody allied to you gets a buff for this. What it does is it increases your physical negations and all of your damage negations, actually. It increases every single one of them. I'm going to show you guys here real quick. So right now, I'm at about 28 to 30. So like mid-low 30 or like high 20s, low 30s. But if I come back and show you if I just TP to get the buff away and make it wear off, I went from like 30s down to 20s. So that was like, I don't know, maybe it's like around 10%, I'd say. It feels like maybe it's a 10% just off eyeballing. It's a 10% buff to every single stat that you have. And it applies to yourself and any allies or summon spirits or spirit ashes, whatever you want to call them, right next to you. Now this one, pretty much just another one for lightning, but it has like more lightning bolts that actually zap when it comes down. So you throw a spear, more spears come out, and then lightning strikes down where you threw it as well. Pretty good spell, really fast casting. The longer you charge it, the more extra spears spawn. Decent range. This is a meme spell. This one is literally, I don't know where this would be good for. Maybe PvP. They even say in the Incantations description, like, this is just like kind of a joke. Like, it's jokingly called the Bear Communion. Like, even the game says that this is a joke. They're trying to tell you, like, this is not meant to be a good spell. It's meant to be for fun. And all you do is it's really good at staggering people. So maybe in PvP, this will be decent. Because look at how they get chain locked. But even then, he had just poised through it at that point. Doesn't interrupt everything, it looks like. Doesn't affect the big guy at all. Again, reminds me of the Grail's Roar, but a lot more, a lot faster, I think, for like the tick. Pretty bad, but pretty funny. This is one of my favorite incantations. I really like this spell. Reminds me of Radagon's Rings of Light, but it's, instead of going through them and coming back to you, it sticks in them. Like if it hits something, it kind of sticks there. And then if you charge it, I'm pretty sure it lasts longer. And it's bigger AoE. So that was the AoE from holding it. Actually, no, it's the same. It looks like the same AoE, actually. Charging it. Should do more damage, though. And then we have Wrath from Afar. This is basically rejection, but instead of it being actual, like, AoE rejection near you, it's afar, so I can just do this. I found out it's really, really good at breaking through shields. So if you're playing PvP, this might be really important to take with you in case something is blocking. It'll knock them on their ass, and if they're blocking, guard break. Instant guard break. Don't know what the actual stamina damage is, but it looks like it's meant for just straight up guard breaks. Very, very good. This one is kind of interesting. I know I skipped a spell, but I'm going to show it last because it's very, very cool, and I want to get to it. I want to save it for last because it's one of the coolest spells in it. Land of Shadow. This one is basically like the Erdtree avatar. You know how the Erdtree avatar explodes and then the missiles come out? Pretty much the exact same thing. Pretty sure it's holy damage. Don't know if it's a different type of affinity or anything. But yeah. The explosion does initial damage, so if you can get it off right in front of somebody, it'll do explosion damage. And then the missiles will do bonus damage after. Now, here are the last two spells. Light of Mikola. I'm just going to demonstrate this for you guys real quick, because of how awesome that spell is. This spell is probably One of the best spells in the game. Obviously, if you can read it, it says Light of Miquella. It's meant to be one of the best spells because, you know, it's related to Miquella, that's kind of like his whole thing is incantations. It only costs 72 faith. So, yeah, be sure to have at least 72 faith if you want to even use this. It has a really far range, actually. Right there. And then it has hitboxes after. If you tap it, seems like, I can't tell if it's any different if I tap it or if I hold it. Very far range, though. Look at how far away I am compared to him. Again, my staff's not upgraded, but I think this will do insane damage to bosses if you upgrade it and they're not, you know, completely immune to holy. And the last one here is minor Erdtree. So I did a little bit of the calculations. From what I can tell, this heals you 12 HP per tick. I don't know if maybe it's percent base, but at least from what I noticed, it's about 12 HP per tick, not second. Notice how I didn't say second. I didn't say second. It's also a very small AoE though. You have to like literally stand on it. It's like a warming stone. It's like a way better infinite use warming stone. Unfortunately, very small range, but it does heal fairly well. It does heal a lot of HP per second. It looks like I'm getting 12 HP per tick specifically. So, very good to use. Maybe very, very good in PvP if you want to, you know, conserve flasks, but be able to heal like pretty much indefinitely, and you can just sit on that. Last couple incantations. Save these for last because these ones, they're not the best, they're not the worst, but one of them is my favorite. This last one here, the Furious Blade of Ansbach. I hope I said that right. I have no idea how to say that, but the Ansbach. That one's really cool. I'm going to save that one for last. This one's kind of like a baby version of the Miquella's Light. Reminds me of both Miquella's Light and this one remind me of the Pillars of Light from Dark Souls 3. Again, pretty sporadic, not super accurate. This one's fun though. This is another Crucible spell. I do like that one. I don't know if there's like a follow-up if I keep spamming it, if I can keep rolling. No, so there's not. So by holding it, you spin more, but you stop either way. There's no chain cast. So if I hold it, I'll spin like 3 times. Maybe if I hold it and then tap it. No. It doesn't seem like you can like chain cast it, like how I'm thinking. You can't like infinitely spin like a Beyblade. I want to be a Beyblade. FromSoft, make me a Beyblade, please. Let me just keep spinning until I get hit. Heal from afar. Now this one's really good too. Again, I am at 1700 health. Just to test the healing, I am now at 2300. So from 1700 to 2300, that's about 600 HP. 600 HP healed, and it can go through range. So you can cast it on yourself, like if you just hit the floor. It's like an instant cast. Very good chunk of heal for something that can be cast that fast, and also something that can be casted at range. So if you have something like a summon or an ally that you're playing with, like let's say you're playing with a friend, you want to heal them, look at the range on that. That went from the top of this step to around here. That's a pretty massive distance for a heal that's like, what, 600? And it's pretty instant. I don't know if you hold it. Maybe if you hold it, maybe it heals more. Again, I'm not, my thing isn't upgraded either. But still pretty decent. I think it's really, really good, actually. It might be one of the best, like, instant heals that you can have. Because there's no channel. It's pretty much instant, and it allows you to cast it from range or at your feet. So just because you can cast it from range doesn't really stop you from casting it at your feet as well and getting the same benefits. So right now I'm at 1000. Pretty sure it healed me for 600. Let's see if I can kind of replicate that. If I can get a longer cast. No, I don't think you can charge it for more. Yeah, it's like 600 no matter what. This is the last incantation in the game. This is by far one of my personal favorite ones. We have more Blood Flame spells. Think of before I show this, Morgoth's Cursed Sword Ash of War, except you can use arcane scaling seals or staffs to cast it and allow you to have really high bleed buildup. Again, this is a Blood Flame incantation, similar to Blood Boon, like this. You basically stab your enemy with whatever you're holding, and it brings out Blood Flame. Again, I don't think the bleed buildup is super good because I don't have a staff that scales off of arcane, but I'm sure if you use the Albinarch staff or the Dragon Communion seal, it would do a lot more bleed buildup. Very fun to use though. Only problem with this spell is that you can't like combo it. It's just like that's it. It's just the same animation I wish if you kept, like, you know, casting it. There's a different one if you hold it. So, like, this is tapping. This is holding. But you can't, like, follow it up with another one. Kind of sucks, but yeah. Once again, these are all the staves that you can cast with. These are all the sacred seals that you can cast with. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe. And I'm probably live right now if you're watching this. I'm probably live streaming me playing through the DLC. But that has been every single incantation that the DLC has added and every single sorcery in the same video. Unfortunately, there were barely any sorceries, and the sorceries that were there just weren't all that good. But let me know what you guys think. Let me hear your thoughts and opinions on the new sorceries and incantations. And hopefully, if you want to check out more of me, subscribe to the channel, or check me out live right now. I should be live when this video goes up. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.